Why do Black people need therapy?
So I believe that Black people need therapy, primarily because I believe there's such a disconnect between what they think therapy is versus what really happens in therapy. What would you say?
For me, I think it's really about just helping people break that cycle in regards to this sense of like shame and silence that people hold on to. I wholeheartedly believe that the things that we don't talk about, you can't talk about, you end up carrying that anyway. And so it's just like if you can find a space to actually safely talk about those things and feel heard and feel affirmed, then you open up so many other channels and doors that can provide you with the space to feel actually comfortable. And so
Yeah,
wouldn't you say the same thing though?
yeah, because it's such a big generational code of like we don't talk about what happens what happens at home. We pray about it, we get over it, and we just keep pushing. And that's just truly not realistic when you think about the backpack that you carry. When you think about some of the things that you don't talk about.
Yeah, and I think about it as a backpack, but I also think about it as like what would you call it? Like being what's the word? Burdened, right? That's the word I think about too. And so if you can learn how to let go of those burdens, you can allow yourself to be free of maybe the stories that don't serve you anymore, the things that don't support you anymore, and to create new narratives, create new experiences that can, again, have healthier relationships to yourself, healthier relationships with your partner, healthier relationships to your family, relationships all the way around.
And so I think by choosing to go to therapy is really important. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of anything more than just self-respect, love, bravery, and courage to yourself. And I think that when you are looking for a therapist, it's important to find one, yes, who is Black, but also one who is able to validate and normalize your experience. And so being a Black female therapist and being visible in spaces is really important when you think about why Black people need therapy.
Yeah, and I think for me as a therapist, I think we hold a responsibility to not only service those who look like us, talk like us, experience life like us, but at the same time, just give them that safe space. I think that's really important because so many times people will sit across from me and say, somebody gets it, somebody understands, and I think that's important.
Black people need therapy. Well, coming from a Black queer perspective, it's very hard for me not to go back to historical context. When you think of Black people needing therapy, you think of all the discrimination, all the racism, and all the generational trauma that has been passed down for generations. I think it's important for us to start there. Next, we got to talk about intersexuality of sexuality and just being Black. So we need a space to be able to be authentic. We need a space to be able to dive through a lot of traumas that we are experiencing today, a lot of traumas that we've experienced in the past. And then if we merge out into the community, we don't go to therapy just because of us. We go to therapy to heal our community, right? We want to make sure that we're not passing on a lot of the generational trauma that we've been exposed to. Primarily, the main reason why we go to therapy is because our parents didn't. That's why I'm in therapy. That's why I'm a therapist. That's why I provide a space for a lot of Black queers who are therapists because our parents didn't go. That's why Black people need therapy.
Why do Black people need therapy? Because we have got to stop wearing our trauma on our sleeve like a badge of honor. It's not it. I mean, I get it. We've been conditioned for so many years from our family members, our grandparents, even our friends too in our community, that what we experience is something that we need to be proud of, that we made it over. But sometimes making it over, you don't see the steps that it took to get over, right? So I think it's really important that we take the time to offer spaces for people to be able to release that burden and to be able to have that badge of I'm healed and not I'm broken, right? Because a lot of times we think that, oh, well, I done made it through the storm, so, I have a badge of honor. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. Like I said, God took on all the burdens that you could ever think of, even imagine, right? So yes, you can go to church and you can still have a therapist too. So even though grandmama them told you that you need to go in your prayer closet and you need to listen to Shekinah Glory 5 times on repeat, you can still have a therapist as well, okay? So it's like, find that space and find someone who can affirm you, who can listen to you and love you in a way that can make you feel like you are seen and you are heard. And it's not about, like I said, being ashamed, being guilted, or even feeling like you are smaller because you're in a space where you have to talk about the things that you're afraid to talk about. to your friends, family, or whoever you're close to. So just know that you can still heal with Jesus and a licensed professional who has some letters after their name.
Why Black people need therapy? Because I believe that therapy does not mean you're weak. I do believe that being so strong is tiring, and that's what y'all feel when y'all feel like I'm trying too much and I feel weak. It's because you're tired. And nobody's gonna help you with that mental tiredness but a therapist, okay? I know your grandma told you, pray it away. I know your mama told you it's not real, but you don't listen to them. You know what you know about your body. You listen to your body and nobody else, okay? Get that therapist, get that help, all right? Take the meds if you need to, all right? It's not, I promise you, that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that you're wired different, but you're also you're God's child. And that's how He made you, and you're perfect in your skin, okay?
Black people need therapy because our pain has been inherited. Black people need therapy because some conversations are better suited beyond the group message, the salons, the barbershops. Black people need therapy because wellness isn't just for our counterparts. We deserve to be seen, heard, and understood in safe spaces and without the masks. So often our cups are empty and we give from those deficits. But I think something that's helpful to know is that if your cup is not overflowing, you definitely don't have enough to give and share with everybody else. So when we prioritize our wellness and show up for ourselves, we can then show up in those relationships and in those different roles in a much better space. So Black people need therapy because you owe it to yourself to show up for yourself and show up as yourself in a safe space.